Okay, one thing I wanted to mention that I recently just found out, YouTube, and it has to be YouTube that does this. As you can see, my meter is on. It is 8:20. The it's Friday, December 6th. Now, from what I've noticed, I looked at some of the previous live streams that I've made my comments in on other people's channels, and I noticed like a lot of stuff is missing out of there. Like I won't mention what it is exactly because they may do the exact same thing in my channel, or whatever. But unless they, well, pretty much they've already done it. But in one of the channels, I noticed, like on one of the target individuals' channels, the other fellow target individuals, is that I noticed that they started removing comments on live streams, information they don't want out. All the stuff I've said, all the stuff some of the other people said during the live stream was cut out. So only a certain amount of things they got said is posted in there. And that's it. Like you won't even through the whole thing. I've literally scrolled the entire feed on this on one of the channels on as far as one of these guys is concerned. I don't know if it's just me or everybody. I don't know. But if you do a live stream video and you post it online on YouTube, check the comment sections. Take notes of certain key points that got said, because I guarantee you, YouTube takes certain bits of information out of those to prevent people from going back and looking at these things. I couldn't even believe it. Everything that got said in that comment section, only except for the small bits that were in there, got taken off. And one other thing I will point out, like for some reason, something was causing like interference with some of my comments. I would have to just submit my comments like halfway through, and then afterwards, the next thing that would happen is as I'm typing, like the words that I'm typing in and trying to type in, they will be in two different colors. One of them will be in the bulk white color, as you can see how the dialogue on my apps are, and then there will just be the other letters that I'm currently typing are in a more darker color, and they're all like pitch black. You can barely even see them. So it's kind of like they're definitely trying to cover this stuff up. So I'm telling you, like, check your live stream videos. If any key points that came out, check it back on your recording. Like, record what you're live streaming and check out what they edited out. Because I guarantee you that certain bit of information they do not want people to go back to search and see. They do not want people to see that. And the only time you're gonna be able to see it is when it's live. That's the only time you're gonna see it is when it is live. After it's fully submitted, they edit that stuff out. They edit stuff that they do not want seen out of there. Again, it's the meter's like around 4. It's around 4:30. I'm having a little bit of trouble breathing as far as right now, but not too much. Um, they did not want me posting that introductory video. It was so much that they even messed over my storage just to do so. But luckily I was able to still get that submitted. Uh, as far as my game plan is concerned, I plan on continuing to reach out to other targeted individuals. Because I figured the more and more people who I have who are already involved as well as I am, you know, unfortunately from without our consent being involved in this, and yeah, it is a very very unfortunate situation. But at the same time, like this, honestly, with if this was going on, like with this going on as it is, I would rather be aware than not aware because you never know like what could happen. Anything could happen. Considering the fact that people would be like this desperate um and obsessive over you, it shows that like there is a great deal of unbalance in this world, you know? There is definitely a great deal of unbalance, and the forces who are intruding this thing upon everybody are so desperate to keep everything in play, that they are literally going from country to country to sabotage those countries in order to keep, the status quo. I mean, you see it, stuff being tipped off with war with North Korea and stuff, and I get the feeling like all that's just a cover up. I've realized that they instigate things. They pay people off to instigate things in order to actually, blind people. They do stuff like that to keep their focus and all that. So when they're doing stuff like that, they do it to pretty much to covertly do other things. It could be also as a means to deflect as far as certain information they want to actually alter or undo. And what they would do is they would actually pop something else out so big that it captures the public's eye and it keeps their attention away from the current issues that are going on. I gotta admit, certain parts of me are very I feel ashamed of, because I was wondering like about like why so many people were like on SSI and stuff, and now I'm starting to actually understand. But I also understand like there are people out there who actually do abuse it. I'm not gonna deny that, but now I'm starting to understand that it's the system technically abusing the people. The same people, those other people who are dependent on it, who are not as unfortunate as targeted individuals. I started to realize that the system is designed to force people on this, and at the same time, they're trying to point the finger, saying you're being too dependent on the system that they forced you on. I mean, they forced you. It's either that or they force you in the state of homelessness, and it's insane. It really is. It's like it, it's like the whole crabs in the barrel aspect when it comes to this. And it's like whenever you go outside, whenever you go to the mall, whenever you go to the movie theater, wherever you, even in the grocery shop, it's like you're just around a bunch of zombies, people who are just, if you can even call them mostly people anymore, it's like they are just not aware of the situation. They're all just blinded. And it really is like the Matrix effect. It really is. I'm gonna check the meter again. And it said 4:30, as you can see. But yeah, it really truly is just like the Matrix. It's crazy. All this time, like I've seen these homeless people. Every time I see a homeless person, I always give them money. I always do, because I will never know if that person is an actual target individual or not. And you know something? I don't even expect thanks when I do this. I do this out of the kindness of my heart. I never filmed it, not even once, of me doing this at all. Like I just don't do that. But you see plenty of other people do stuff like that. And I think they primarily do that for sinister reasons. Like they will do a kind act, and then like they'll post it up online to get more, like, just to get recognition for what they did. Like it's like they just have to get that little recognition for doing something kind. It's like they couldn't just do something out of the kindness of their heart or whatever. It's good that, and I'm not saying people, it's not good, it's not a okay thing for people to even give thanks on videos. That's fine too. I'm just using it as an example. Like do, you don't have to film all the kind acts that you do, but it is unfortunate, like, that we're in a society to where they would even use someone's kind acts against them in order to frame them. I remember there was a story, not so much of a story. This was a true story, actually. It was a middle-aged man who just so happened to find a kid who had got lost. She don't even know where her parents are at, like, at all. And it's been what, like 6 hours? It's been like 6 hours, right? So he helps the kid, and he asks strangers around the park or whatever. Now this took place at a local park, and he's asking them. And also, just so you know, unfortunately, the reason why they really couldn't find her is because there was a current fair going on during this time. So anyway, he goes around asking multiple strangers if they've seen this kid's parents, right? And they continue to look, and around like a half an hour or a full hour or a half an hour later, the parents just so happen to find the daughter of who is with the stranger, who just so happened to be trying to help her their daughter find them, right? Unfortunately, the father got the wrong idea. He thought the dude was a pervert. He ended up just hit him square in the face. Now we live in a society where that is basically the the legitimate track record for everybody, and honestly, like you can't even question. It's hard to really question reality anymore. It's like you got people who are are fixed into the same system that was supposed to be designed to protect us, but what they're actually doing is actually like dude, this whole system is covertly putting both kids and women in a state of prostitution, basically. It's fixated to do that. It's fixated to literally do that, and literally just. I hope you can hear that. But yeah, it's fixated to just literally. Wow. Yeah, but it's fixated to literally just to trap people, and you got to ask yourself, something with this remote neural monitoring they're going, because I'm telling you, like I've had a situation to where I was simply going shopping in the gang stalkers were doing their little bit or whatever, the street theater thing, and the little comments and stuff that they would make, and these people were they were using this technology to boost my stress level. I'm like, are you serious? I couldn't even believe it. Like they actually, I had my suspicions, but I also had a little bit of doubt, which I kind of was just trying to douse out. But at that exact moment, I was 100% certain these the people behind this technology create criminals, and I just had the unfortunate situation to have to be sedated by this technology since I was a child. I grew up without even knowing what any of this stuff is. There are stuff that happened in my past that I have questioned for years, for days, but I couldn't even come up with a decent explanation, and it was just insane. It was insane, and I feel like I've been subject to human experimentation since I was a child, and I had no say so at all, like none. And that's what I'm getting at. Like this system is designed to basically put kids in this stuff and sedate them under these influences of many different aspects, whether any kind of type of criminal record that they would want to put these people under or have them go in the direction of, or any kind, or even if it's suicide, even if it's on a killing spree, anything like that. It looks like it's stemmed towards the design to literally cause both self-destruction and destruction upon others. It is full blown terrorism, man. It's crazy. And for them to do this is very, very satanic and very disgusting. And when you look at the scenario with how China's stuff is, you know how like they only like let you um basically have, I think, have like one or two kids, and then like if there's the third one, or if you have too many kids, did you know? And I'm telling, and you don't even have to take my word for this, but I found out that someone on my PSN friend, this guy wasn't even on my PSN friends list, but he was on a friend of mine's PS friends list, and I believe this guy was a gang stalker. Cause the stuff he told me blew my freaking mind, dude. Like it's from what he told me, the people, those kids are that are in China right now. The ones who when the families have too many kids, they do not kill those kids. No, you want to know where they end up in? They end up in human trafficking. No joke. This dude told me this himself. And he said this stuff in front of everybody, so I get the feeling he was trying to see if I was willing to join this monstrous organization. I'm like, no. I'm not gonna freaking do that to nobody. I would never desecrate the life of another. And now I'm looking back at at a lot of stuff that happened in my life, and now I'm questioning whether my life was truly my own because I feel the symptoms from the direct energy weapons, and honestly, this is some stuff that I had to happen to me in the past. I've blacked out in the past. I've had trouble walking in the past, and I've had the heaviness that I have now with being fully sedated. People in school asked me why I was walking weird, and I didn't have an explanation because at that time I had no idea what a targeted individual was. I had no way of even knowing because I never knew. And it seemed like just about every school I was going to, and I said this in my previous videos, and I'll say it again, and I kid you not, every school I was going to, it seemed like the whole system was set to keep me from actually gaining knowledge. And when I was actually starting to learn and focus, it seems like my bullying, whatever it was, like bullying would just pick up at a high pace. It would pick up at a very high pace, and I had no explanation as to why. I wasn't even bothering anybody, and it just happened. I would even go as far as into another room, and that still would not stop it. It was just crazy. Like I couldn't explain like what those people's issue with me was. And now I'm starting to understand the full effects of this. Basically, this technology is designed to basically give influences that are not your own. There's basically to give both influences, desires, and emotions, and implant these emotions into your mindset through a form of conversion, as a form to actually take away your true self and replace it with a modified self to what they want you to be. In my case, and it's getting even more harder to breathe. Let me check the meter. Okay, now it's over 430 and going up to 440. But turn this volume down a bit. But I'm pretty sure you can even hear it in my voice that it's getting hard to breathe right now. But it it's just crazy though. It really is. It truly is. Like I just can't imagine how many people have suffered from this, you know? And I'm looking back in history, and this stuff is going back as far as 1980s. That's way before I was even born. I'm pretty sure that's way before any of us were born. Looking back, honestly, looking back, I really questioned. I honestly believe that this whole society thing is gotten to the point to where this definitely isn't the country of the free. It's only the country, and as long as this stuff remains in power, as long as this stuff remains as it is, it's only gonna be you're only allowed to be as free as much as they see fit, as as much as you're allowed to know. Meaning that like it's gonna be a lack of knowledge there. Now, let me explain to you as to why they did not, I believe they did not want me to learn as much as that did, as far as in school and everywhere else. As far as I can tell you, just about as far as going up to high school, it's like it was a constant dependency to keep me in these weird special ed classes. And honestly, the way I was functioning just didn't seem right for me. I just didn't feel right in there at all. It just didn't seem right. Something was just off. And I didn't know why, but it was this impeccable laziness that I had, and I couldn't even explain it right. I really couldn't. But I honestly believe that I was constantly being kept in there for a certain condition to be made. But when I say it was in a desperate attempt to keep me as from a lack of knowledge, I am dead serious about this. I mean, they kept me as far as from even knowing how to tie my shoes. My own mother, my own brother, and my own sister, no one taught me how to tie my shoes. It took a complete stranger on the outside just to teach me that. No joke. And after I learned that, I knew it by heart. Right after that, I knew it by heart. And and for some strange reason, like I never really had the interest to really learn anything, and I couldn't really explain why. It's not like I had a problem with it, but it's just like for some reason there was always just that big gap there, and I could never figure it out why. I could never figure out why, and it's a scenario that followed me for my entire life. And every time I was around people, I would always get the same speech. This is this is a phrase that I first realized all the way back since I was 6. He's just in his own world. It doesn't make sense how I would hear something like that going all the way from 6 to all the way into my 20s, even in my teens, hearing that exact same phrase. It's been other things similar to this. My mother, I believe she was primarily targeted because as I stated before in my past videos, there's been a constant state of homelessness. There's been even scenarios to where she had to literally leave one state to another just to cash a check, and she had to beg the banker to do it. She had to beg the man to do it. She broke down in tears just to get her cash check. And I've experienced something similar to that. I've had people literally damage my check to prevent me from cashing it out of an attempt to make me homeless. And these people don't even give don't even give true turds to a whim of any of the suffering that's going on out there. And I'll give you a good example about that. I don't even know if I did upload this story or not. A true story. It was a guy again. There was a guy who bought like multiple tiny houses for the homeless and people who had homes. I'm talking about actual houses, apartments, and stuff like that. Right? They all were so desperate to get those people back out living in the streets that they went into the courtroom, filed multiple complaints to get those people back out in the street. No joke. They did that just to get those homeless people back out in the street. Now I'm looking at my situation, and it makes you wonder why would they do that. And then I look at the situation with the Great Louisiana flood. Sorry, I'm skipping over my words here. And then there was that one incident that got blurted out on the news. It was a homeless man, and he stayed out of the building because they were killing people in on inside that building. From what they said, how come after that a whole bunch of people came up missing? Not to mention, there's been stories about underground bunkers being built underneath the Walmarts. There's been a lot of crazy stuff that I've seen during my research. Now, my targeting had not gotten as bad as it is, and I believe it got towards the stalking part to where I started to realize the stalking when I started making the videos stating how people can just and I've already said this before, but it was videos basically stating how like you didn't have to be what the society was designing you to be. And I believe I'm starting to understand why that pissed them off as much as it did. The reason why it pissed them off because it was messing with their money. Their money is based off towards converting you into what they want you to be, in which have been trying to do to me for years. And in some cases, they may have actually succeeded because I don't know. I don't even know the full scenario with my life anymore. It's like it's to a point to where you don't even know if your full life was truly your own. You don't even know what you may have done, what you may have did, or what. You just do not know. Um, it's at 398 now. If I turn the sensitivity up, you see that. Again, these levels of radiation that's picking up here, that's not normal. No one should ever have this much stuff on them at all. It shouldn't even be nowhere near this amount. But again, this is non-ion. You can hear it in my voice that they're hitting me hard with this. Um, this is non-iodized radiation. So when they cut it off, there's going to be no traces. But if they use the other type of radiation, the actual stuff that's really harmful, they would have Environmental Protection Agency all over here, everywhere. It wouldn't just hit me; it would hit everybody around here too. Um, Man, even with the Mylar on, they still can hit you. Wow. Hang on, let me try something. Give me a second. Nope, that barely did anything. But yeah, I made my recent video as a form of trust because in this situation like this, honestly, you gotta reach out. If you are a targeted individual, do what I did. Reach out. Let people know who you are. Reach out, because I'm telling you, in this case, not you're not gonna have many people out there that actually look out for you. Not with them being either forced to convert over like this or actually do the things that they do. And honestly, I was in the dark when I actually finally realized what's been plaguing me most of my life. I was in the dark. But I'm grateful to finally figured out what's been plaguing me through all my life this whole time. But I will say this much: I'm really afraid that this technology is responsible for the death of my mother. I really am. I honestly I have zero doubts about that because the the uh the scenario with her death is just too suspicious, honestly. I mean, you're not gonna have someone just. I mean, she wasn't in the best of health, but looking at the research, it shows how they can manipulate with your health. Considering that my mother had constantly repeated heart attacks, not so much as heart attacks, but mostly like seizures. She had mixed up an accidental mix up with her medication, and all this is happening after the scenario where she had to beg someone to actually cash her check, to where she had to literally go to another state to do that, to where we were constantly in and out of homeless shelters, to where we were moving around from state to state after she had lost a job. It wasn't going to get another job. No, it was leaving to a whole other state just to get another job. It was a constant basis with that. Um, Again, this is MM's TI Strategy Guide. As you know, I am Maurice M. I hope that all the knowledge and stuff that I've already passed on, I will continue to do some more research. I hope all the knowledge and stuff that I passed on is doing people some good. Because honestly, we all need as much help as we can get in this type of world. Because honestly, the only people, the only true uh, beings whatsoever that we have looking out for us at all above anyone is both God and Jesus. I'm gonna continue to do my hardest to fight this technology that's so constantly trying to do this, and I'm gonna pray for all those who are also doing the same. Again, this is MM's TI Strategy Guide. I'm over and out.